Hello and welcome to the AI with Arun show. Imagine for a second that the internet as we know it, the global, open web, didn't exist for you. Instead, you lived inside a digital fortress. Welcome to Russia's boldest technological experiment since the space race. We aren't just talking about building a new chatbot. We are talking about a state-sponsored effort to completely sever ties with Western technology and build a sovereign AI ecosystem from scratch. Today, we're going inside that fortress. We're going to look at the code, the chips, and the geopolitical gamble that Russia is taking to secure its future. Is it actually working? Let's find out. But before that, a request. Please consider becoming a member of the AI with Arun show. You will see the link in the video description below. First, we have to define our terms. When Google or OpenAI build AI, they talk about global connection. When Russia talks about AI, they talk about sovereignty. Think of this like a digital border wall. Russia defines sovereign AI as the state's ability to control every single aspect of artificial intelligence within its own territory. It rests on three pillars. First is infrastructure, using only Russian clouds, like Yandex or Sber, so no foreign government can hit a kill switch. Second is data sovereignty, keeping your financial and health data strictly inside Russia's legal jurisdiction. Third is values. This is the big one. They want AI that follows Russian traditional values and ignores Western ethics. Basically, it's about treating the internet like land, territory that must be defended. This isn't just a vague idea. There is a literal deadline. Russia has a national strategy that runs through the year 2030. Here is the roadmap. They want to lead the world in niche areas, specifically drones, voice recognition, and medical diagnostics. The end game by 2030 is that they want to be a global innovation center that is totally self-sufficient in making computer chips. But here's the catch. The government cut the federal budget for this. They are putting the pressure on big companies to pay for it. Which brings us to, in the US, innovation often comes from startups. In Russia's model, the state picks the winners. They call them corporate champions. Meet the two giants carrying this entire strategy on their shoulders. First, let us talk about Sber. This is the biggest bank in Russia, led by German Gref. They aren't just a bank anymore. They are the main driver of this national AI roadmap. Then they have Yandex, often called the Google of Russia. They are handling the business and cloud side of things. These companies are so tied to the government that their corporate goals are basically national policy. So let's look at the actual tech. Sber, the biggest bank, built a model called GigaChat. Now, training a massive AI model like GPT-4 costs hundreds of millions of dollars and requires thousands of chips. Russia doesn't have unlimited chips right now. So how did they build this? They used a clever architecture called a mixture of experts. Imagine instead of one giant brain that uses all its energy for every question, you have a room full of specialists. If you ask about math, only the math guy wakes up. The result? It runs faster and uses way less computing power. It has 20 billion parameters, but only uses 3 billion at a time. How about the data? It's trained on mostly English and Russian, plus a lot of computer code. It's efficient and it's smart. Then you have the competitor, YandexGPT. This is built into Alice, which is like Russia's version of Alexa. They tested this model against GPT 3.5 using a Russian benchmark test. Here is the good news for them. It actually beat GPT 3.5 in 64% of Russian language business tasks like summarizing documents. But the bad news? It still struggles with complex reasoning and creativity compared to the top Western models. Basically, if you need to summarize a Russian legal contract, it's great. If you want it to write a novel or solve a logic puzzle, it lags behind. This is where the story gets darker. Why build your own AI if Western ones are better? Because the Kremlin believes Western artificial intelligence is a weapon. They claim models like Gemini or GPT-4 cancel Russian culture. So they are building what we call patriotic AI. Hard censorship. If you ask these Russian models about the war in Ukraine or politics, they are programmed to either stay silent or give you a state-approved answer. The ethics code. They even signed a national code of ethics. It uses words like morality, but in practice it means the AI must uphold traditional state values and shield users from foreign manipulation. It's not just a chatbot, it's a propaganda filter. Now we have to talk about the elephant in the room. You can write the best code in the world, but if you don't have the hardware to run it, you are dead in the water. Since 2022, sanctions have banned Russia from buying Nvidia H100 or A100 chips, the engines that power modern AI. So what is the reality? There are only about 10,000 of these top-tier chips in the entire country. But here is the workaround. They are forced to buy them on the gray market, smuggled in through China, Turkey, or the UAE. Because chips are so scarce, 80% of their spending goes just to running the models they have, rather than training new, smarter ones. This is a massive bottleneck. So Russia's solution is, we will build the chips ourselves, but that is much harder than it sounds. Right now, in 2024, Russia just finished a machine that prints 350-nanometer chips. To put that in perspective, the rest of the world stopped using that technology in the 1990s. They have a plan to leapfrog the entire world. They want to invent a new type of X-ray lithography using plasma mirrors to get down to modern speeds by 2036. However, the risk is this per experts. Most experts think this is impossible without Western parts. They are trying to do in 10 years what took the rest of the world 30 years. While the civilian sector struggles with chips, the military is moving fast. They call it intellectualized warfare. They are shifting from digital to smart. Let us talk about drones. You've probably heard of the Orlan 10. They are upgrading these with AI to identify targets autonomously. They are developing the Poseidon, a nuclear-capable underwater drone that navigates itself. Talking about electronic warfare, they are using AI to jam enemy signals and manage swarms of drones. The war in Ukraine has basically become a giant laboratory for testing these systems in real time. AI isn't just watching the battlefield, it's watching the streets. Russia is home to a company called NtechLab. They created an algorithm called FindFace. It can identify you in a video stream in less than 1 second. It works even if you are in a crowd, in the dark, or partially covering your face. What are the applications? This is rolled out in airports and cities. It tracks persons of interest and is used to suppress political dissent. This is the ultimate tool for a surveillance state, and it's fully operational right now. Because Russia is cut off from the West, they are pivoting south and east. They are building a parallel AI alliance with BRICS nations. The plan is this. They presented a project called AI Horizons to 36 countries. Who are the partners? They are working with China to create a digital cloud corridor to share computing power. They are working with India on health data and Brazil on smart farming. The goal is to create a multipolar tech world where you don't need Silicon Valley to survive. But you can't build any of this without brains. And that is Russia's biggest problem. After the invasion in 2022, a massive number of IT specialists left the country. Russia predicts they will be short 3 million specialists by 2030. The government is throwing money at the problem. Preferential mortgages, draft deferments, and free training for anyone who stays. Surprisingly, the sector is growing, almost 28% a year, because the government is forcing every bank and agency to switch to Russian software. They are manufacturing their own demand. So let's wrap this up. Is sovereign AI a success or a failure? It's a mix. Talking about success. They have successfully built working software like GigaChat and a terrifying surveillance state. They are independent of Western software. Now the failures. They are critically short on hardware. Their chip sovereignty plan is a massive gamble that relies on physics-defying breakthroughs. Russia is betting that it can survive in a walled garden, cutting itself off from the global flow of ideas and hardware. It's an attempt to secure the nation's future through isolation, whether that leads to a golden age of independence or a technological dark age. That is the question we'll be watching for the next decade. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments. Do you think Russia can build its own chips by 2030? Or is that just a fantasy? Please like, share, and subscribe to the AI with Arun show. Thank you for watching. We will be back soon.